My name is Shirley Henderson, and today there was a action at my home that I lease out of putting the family back in the home with the Anti-Eviction Campaign. And what we did was occupy the property to put the family back in. We had a press conference today on 116th and Artesian, which is where the family lives, and we plan to do whatever's necessary to make sure that family continues to live in that home. Myself, I was part of the mortgage industry, so when the mortgage industry went bust, well, there went my job. I was no longer able to afford the mortgage on my home, let alone the home that I was leasing out to my tenants. A year later, my tenants lost their job, and they have not been able to find a job since. So that whole process of no one being able to pay the mortgage led to the foreclosure and the final step of the eviction of the tenants. Even though, I must add, the law states that if they have a valid lease, in which they have had for the last 10 years to live in the property, the law, the sheriff or the banker or whichever process that is that ignores that lease and continued on with the eviction process. In my opinion, the most humane thing to do, other than set a family outside, is to give them the opportunity to continue to live in their home. It was due to no fault of their own that the economy went bust and they were not able to find a job. So in my heart of hearts, I would not have been able to put any family outside because they were not able to afford the mortgage payment. There are, as we know, thousands and thousands upon thousands of pieces of vacant property within the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois. Why must a family, whether they're husband and wife, whether they are teenagers, why must anyone have to live in a shelter or on the street or in their car when there are vacant homes or homes that they are currently living in available for them to continue to live in? What society wants to put their subjects out on the street? I think that that's wrong. Home for the Holidays, as I know it, we are planning to, other families that are in the same predicament as my tenants will be put into different pieces of vacant property that's going to be rehabbed and brought up to very livable conditions so that they can move in and have some place to stay and live without living on the street or without living in a shelter. I would like for J.P. Morgan Chase to give me back my home that it has taken away from me. I would like for J.P. Morgan Chase to stop any and all eviction processes that are going on with my home. And I would like for J.P. Morgan Chase to give me a release for my home, for that mortgage to be null and void as to the way it is now. They have the property. I would like for them to give the property back to me. It's been my rightful property for almost 20 years. I would love to see society, the bankers, the powers that be, that have control of the homes, to allow people, especially if they're already in the home, to stay in the home and not evict them. If they're able to pay $5 for rent because the economy has not allowed them to be able to pay anything other, then allow them to stay there and pay that $5. Everyone knows that when the mortgage industry happened and the bubble burst and the banks were bailed out and received billions of dollars, that supposedly those billions of dollars were somewhere along the line supposed to help the homeowners. But so far we know that it has done none of that. So I would like to see people stay in their homes. I would like to see, if anyone has been evicted, to be put back into their home or a home so that they do not have to live in a shelter. I like to see families stay together. You cannot have any sort of continuity as far as a family life if you're living in a shelter.